Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. We're back here to discuss the latest transfer news of the day. So far, in regards to Manchester United, we're going to be doing this most lunchtimes, early afternoons, that sort of time, and evenings as well. So get in there, you legends. We're going to be discussing Mbeumo, Gyokeres, Martinez, and loads of other stuff as well, so strap yourselves in for a raw one. Do us a favour at the start of this stream then, smash that like button on it, give us a massive thumbs up if you're just joining us, hit the likes, oh you know it makes sense. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and also for some reason my live chat's not working, so that's annoying. Let me just update the link here, my friends, give me una momento por favores. But yeah, I hope you're well guys, thank you for joining us, lots to get into today. There we go. Should work now. No. I've just full on shat it. Okay, well, you know, it's not a big deal. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out though, guys. Together. Here we go. That should do it. Yes! Get in there, my son. Come on. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. We've got lots to get into today. Do us a favour at the start of the stream. Smash that like on it. Give us a massive thumbs up at the start of the stream. That will help us out loads. Also, do give us a share around somewhere if you can. There's a link pinned at the top of the live chat. You can repost us there on X. We'll give you a shout out later on in the stream. Welcome in, everybody who's in the stream here. What's going on there? Yes, lad, welcome aboard. Aaron, get in there, my son. There's the link again to the X, lad. Thank you very much. Tim, how you doing? What's going on, mate? Also, we've got a Supreme Leader in here. Simon A, Steve Barrero, Compost Smurf, Dave Watkins, and everybody else as well who's in here. Big up yourselves. Hope you're having a good lunchtime. Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Obviously, we were live last night when the news broke about Bryan Mbeumo's potential move to Manchester United, picking up some serious steam with the bid coming in from Manchester United, an official bid submitted of £45 million plus £10 million in add-ons. There's a little bit sort of more information that's come out in regards to that today. So obviously there's certain expectations there. Maybe they'll get extra add-ons dependent on if Manchester United qualify for Champions League, this sort of stuff. Obviously, Brentford reportedly wanted closer to 70 million just as a negotiation point, really. Realistically looking for a similar amount of money to Matheus Cunha's move from Wolves. And Man United are currently in talks with Brentford right now in order to try and get this deal done. So negotiations are ongoing. It probably won't be too long till this deal's wrapped up because a lot of the issues are sort of taken care of already. And Mbeumo wants to come and join Manchester United. That's a big thing. You know, he wants to leave Brentford, join Man United. The money for him is going to be a heck of a lot more than it is at Brentford, a substantial amount more. So he wants to join. Plus, it's just a bigger, better club, bigger project, etc. So, yeah, he'll be loving it. He wants to come. Not an issue there. The issue is just negotiating the fee there with Brentford, which is being worked on as we speak. It's expected that it will be around about sort of 60 million altogether. Maybe a little bit more. Perhaps, yes, close to the 62.5. Maybe they'll pay a little bit more up front. You know, we're talking about the initial bid being 45 plus 10. Or perhaps they'll pay, you know, 47.5 plus 10 or 50 plus 10 or somewhere in that region. Or maybe they'll just give them extra add-ons. Perhaps it will be a case of, well, if you want a bit more money, we'll give you 45 million up front. And instead of 10 in add-ons, we'll have a whole bunch of performance-based bonuses for you. So if we do get Champions League football in the first year, here's X amount, you know, or after a certain amount of league appearances, here's another chunk of change. Perhaps it's that kind of thing. So, yes, Manchester United, though, and Brentford in discussions, negotiations for Bryan Mbeumo. I'm buzzing my tits off about this one. I think it's going to be a brilliant signing for Man United, just based on what it looks like for Brentford. Brentford are a decent team. Thomas Frank's a good coach. They're a decent side. But they are just a small leisure centre dwelling football club. Let's face it, they play in a leisure centre, no disrespect. But Mbeumo's ready for the big stage, I think, at United there, under the lights of Old Trafford. He's got a bit about him. He can create, he can score, and he's a very dangerous player, isn't he? You add him into our ranks with the likes of Matheus Cunha. And finally, Amorim can cook. Let him cook! You know, he just needs to cook, doesn't he? Get him going there and hopefully give him the tools that he needs to do the job, and hopefully he can start cooking. But But, you know, by the way, do get yourselves in and out the chat here. We will be dipping in and out the live chat, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end here. Good afternoon there, Charlie. What's up, SCJF? How you doing, Big Hass? There's plenty of new news on that, Jose. We'll get into that a little bit. Yep, bring me Emi Martinez. We are shit, giving him that salary crazy increase, so nothing has changed. Well, it depends what you really believe in here, Sammer. Obviously, it depends. I mean, we're not going to be giving him, you know, 250k, 230k. Some of the reports coming out, these reports lately in regards to Bryan Mbeumo. I think what's much more realistic is we'll end up paying a significant amount less than that. Obviously, we'll see. We know what we're like when it comes to paying players' wages. We do pay them a lot of money. But I've got a feeling that Manchester United won't be paying anywhere near that for Bryan Mbeumo because he's only on 45k a week right now. Yep, these players must be on big money as they can't have any ambition. I don't know about that, you know, Charlotte. It's a sleeping giant of a football club. You know, there's a great project there for someone. Look at Bruno Fernandes. He didn't go and follow the money over to Saudi, did he? No, he's decided to stay and play for Manchester United because it's the English Premier League. We're a prestigious football club. Even if we're in a charter of a period right now, we can still get back there, my friend. Yeah, makes sense. European bonus sounds good. Yeah, Big Hass says 230k a week is what he's asking for. I still think it's worth it. We need goal scorers badly. Again, just because that's what he's asking for, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's actually going to be. So we'll have to work out, of course, what it actually will be at some point. But either way, I'm not that bothered about it as long as it's not ridiculous crazy money like that. That would be ridiculous crazy money. Hey, Berber lad, how you doing? Get in there. Howdy, my friend. What's happening, lad? Get in there. How's your day going? Prolange, get in there as well. Brentford bought Kelleher. They mean business. Yeah, sure. But that's true. There you go. They're obviously going to do some business on the outs as well, aren't they? There you go, starting with Bryan Mbeumo, lad. Definitely ain't worth that, 230k. Okay, fair enough. Reports say 150 to 180. Francois, that's what I believe as well. You know, I've been talking about that the last couple of days, what he's actually worth. Do get your thoughts and opinions in the chat, guys. What do you think his wages should be at United? But I'm thinking he'll be getting between 140 and 180. I've basically said that this whole time. I feel like that's the sort of sweet spot for Bryan Mbeumo. He's getting a serious increase from Brentford, but he's playing for Manchester United, a huge club, and with that comes a lot of extra added pressure, extra exposure, whatever, and obviously he's got to be compensated for it, and he's a top player playing for a top team now. Well, I say a top team now, you know what I mean. Exactly. Berber says his wages don't bother me. We've watched Rashford, Sancho, Alexis steal much more and do nothing, and Boomer seems like he works hard. He works very hard, doesn't he? We were actually talking about this last night. I think he was covered the third most ground out of any player in the Premier League, or maybe it was just for his position, actually. Or maybe it was for any player in the Premier League. I can't remember now. But we were talking about that last night. In the Premier League this season, he covered the third most distance, which, okay, doesn't tell you the whole story, but it does tell you that he works very bloody hard, doesn't it, on the pitch, and covers a lot of ground and really does put in a shift more often than not. So, yes, completely agree with what you're saying. Those melts, they're on way more money than what we're talking about for him. But you know, I think, yeah, 120k, fair enough. He was on 50. Yeah, but it doesn't really work like that, Summer. It's about how good you are, and it's also about what sort of club you go into and what that club's willing to pay as well. You know, we need him. He scored 20 goals in the Premier League, just gone. He also created 8. You know, we're really struggling for goals. In fact, he only got 1 less goal than the front 3 of United all season. So he's actually pretty needed by us. So, you know, it's supply and demand, isn't it? He's supplying the goods because we're demanding it. We need it. Well, it isn't good at the moment, mate. Do I rate Dorgu? I rate him 5 out of 10 at the moment, boss, to be honest. He's not looked in sensational, has he? I think he's got great potential, though. We'll see what happens this season. This will be the making or the breaking of him, won't it? Will he turn out to be the next Evra, or will he turn out to be the next Malacia? My gut feeling says that it's more towards the Malacia side of things at the moment, but I hope I'm wrong, and I still think he's going to, you know, do well and need some time to obviously show himself there, really. Right, well, let's get into some of the transfer news then, the latest sort of just a couple of updates about Mbeumo here. You know, just nothing crazy has occurred since the last stream we did last night, but United have made an open offer of 45 plus 10 to Brentford for Mbeumo, as Ornstein called it. Falls below Brentford's valuation, but talks continue. Brentford went at least 50 million, at least 50 million guaranteed, and a point into the 62.5p for Mateus Cunha. This was via Ben Jacobs last night, and then there was just a little bit more there. Brentford would want add-ons to be more player-specific as opposed to team-based add-ons, like Champions League qualification, etc. etc. The selling club tends to want this, as they know the player will have more confidence in them. So basically what we've said earlier on as well is that obviously United's add-ons, the structure of that would have to be worked out. Maybe we'll give them more in terms of add-ons. Maybe we won't increase the initial fee too much, but we could be looking at giving them more in terms of add-ons to sweeten the deal and make it more palatable for Brentford. But as this says, it's a fair point to say that Brentford at this stage perhaps would prefer individual player targets, like, oh, once Mbeumo's got 30 appearances for you, you have to give us another couple of million quid. Once Mbeumo's, scored 50 goals, if he scores 50 goals, you have to give us 7 million quid. Whatever it is, But they would certainly prefer, I think, individual player targets rather than Man United's qualification for the Champions League. Let's just be honest right now. That is, that's basically not guaranteeing anything in the future, is it there, if you're Brentford? So yes, it would make sense. That would make sense. So that's the sort of makeup of the deal at the moment. It seems like these things are obviously going to have to be ironed out. We'll work on a transfer fee, I suppose, with Brentford in the coming hours, and hopefully we get a deal done, guys. But exciting times. Bryan Mbeumo coming into the team is going to be a big boost for everyone. Him and Cunha, obviously, those two would be absolutely looking forward to seeing these guys cook in pre-season as well. Really looking forward to that pre-season if we can get some business done early. So we've got to get those players involved in those pre-season games, get them bedded in, ready, etc. Getting that system cooking under Amorim finally, and then just maybe we'll start to see a totally different Manchester United for the start of the new Premier League campaign. So yes, we don't want to fanny around like a bunch of fannies with these deals. We want to get them done swiftly, which is why I think this deal will be done swiftly. I mean, I would not really be surprised at all if it was announced later on tonight or today or tomorrow that there's an agreement been reached with Brentford. I would not be surprised at all, because it seems like we're trying to work pretty swiftly in this window. We're not messing around. Matheus Cunha's already been officially announced, and that didn't take very long. I think this deal is going to be officially announced pretty soon as well. Obviously not official with the club for maybe a good few days or so, but my gut feeling says this will be done in the next 48 hours. And what I mean by that is Manchester United reaching an agreement, at least in terms of a verbal agreement or an agreement in principle, with Brentford and Mbeumo in terms of both the transfer fee and also the salary. So I've got a feeling that's going to happen. But let's just ask the live chat for a bit of fun. How long do you think it will take for Manchester United to agree a fee here with Brentford and get this deal basically agreed in principle, How long do you think that will take? I'm going to say within the next 36 hours, actually. I think between now and tomorrow evening, there'll be something announced in regards to that, because we're not messing around here, guys. We shouldn't be messing around. Yes, there's a few things to iron out, but he wants to come. Brentford are looking to cash in. They're already signing players and stuff. They need to get some cash back. Mbeumo wants to go. They're trying to get as much as they can. But there's not really much real movement either side for negotiations. It's like they wanted 70 as a high starting point. We want 55 as a very reasonable lower starting point. Well, it'll be somewhere in the middle then. Probably close to what we paid for Matheus Cunha, or a little bit less. So because of that, I think it's going to be in the next couple of days. It's Thursday today, We could be talking about having him in here by the weekend. That's if everything goes to plan. There's no discussions of any other clubs going in for him at the moment. I'd be very annoyed if they're just waiting for us to do the negotiations and then swoop in some European, football club who's looking for a good player for, a decent deal. So, a little bit concerned, but surely if we can act swiftly, this is all the more reason why we need to act swiftly, and all the more reason I think it is going to be done in the next day or two, maybe even today, maybe tomorrow, because yes, we want to fend off any interest from any other clubs. Doesn't seem to be too much at the moment, but if we can get him in very early, it would be great. Next week, says UK Strains. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. As Inspector Grim said, enough hoity-toity, namby-pamby, fannying around, lad. Exactly. You love the signing so far, but I'm concerned about the fees. Fair enough. Yes. Well, if we can do business getting players gone, it's gonna make it a lot less worrying, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Hubby's a City fan. Oh, that's filth. Hayward driver, let's go. Agreed by Saturday today. Yes, get in there. That'd be nice. Could be 12 a.m. bid. End of the weekend done, hopefully. Next one, and Gyokeres, and I'm on cloud 9. I think it would be worth, it would definitely be worth, having a little bit of a celebration if you're a United fan, getting Gyokeres and Mbeumo and Cunha in early doors. We'll get onto the Gyokeres stuff that we've got at the moment as well, but just on this Mbeumo stuff frequently, yes. But if we could get those guys in, obviously you need a goalkeeper as well, but if you can get a goalkeeper in and those guys, we can start to celebrate as United fans that we're going to have a good window, because that addresses a lot of the problems in the team. It should add a lot of goals into the team, a lot of creativity. It also gives us a bit of extra quality and depth in other areas just by adding those guys. You've suddenly got Ahmad, who can do you a job at right wing back if you need him to when you need to attack. You've also got him who can play the number 10 behind the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo in the pecking order, but still playing lots of games. You've also got Bruno Fernandes, who's then still able to play the number 10, but he can be dropping back and playing alongside Casemiro or Ugarte or Menu or Collier or whoever. It gives you a lot of depth all of a sudden, just adding those two players who can play those number 10s. And if we're going to do business on the outgoings, maybe Garnacho will be sold, Rashford. We've got some news on Anthony Dos Santos. We'll get into that in a bit as well. Of course, Andre Onana would be lovely to move on. Rasmus Højlund to Inter. There's going to be lots of movement. Sancho. There's going to be lots of movement this summer for Manchester United players outgoing. So I think we can more than afford a good transfer window here by signing big money players, to be fair. And they're the right sort of players, right sort of ages as well. So I'm liking what I'm seeing there. But yes, absolutely, Cloud9 would be achieved if they could bring in Gyokeres as well as Mbeumo so far. That'd be amazing. Okay, so just on Gyokeres then, let's get into that very quickly. Not too much of an update on it, but obviously there are reports that that Manchester United could go and get Gyokeres if we're prepared to pay the 70 million for him. So reports here via Ben Jacobs that said that if Manchester United can find a way to pay the 70 million euros for Viktor Gyokeres, he would be keen to reunite with Ruben Amorim. Even without Champions League football, outgoings will play a big part in such funds, though. So yes, you know, it's a lot of investment here. Man United, with the state of where we are, we're not expected to go and spend $250 million this summer on transfers. But we kind of need to, but we're not expected to do that. We're probably going to be, you know, closer to half of that, 125, maybe 180 million if we're lucky, 200 million. So we need to spend 250, but it's going to be dependent on obviously getting rid of Rashford. He could be sold for 40 million. Anthony Dos Santos, 35 million. Højlund, 35 million. Onana, £12.50. Luke Shaw, 2 Frey Bentos pies. You know, etc. You can get some cash back for players. I'm just saying Luke Shaw's not going anywhere, is he? But the other players generate the cash, generate a couple of $100 million by getting these players out, and then we can reinvest that money and do well to get other players. Another player, obviously, we'd be looking to bring in would be a goalkeeper. We've got another update on a goalkeeper situation as well, which basically just reaffirms United's transfer amount that we'd have to pay for him, essentially. So this is also via Ben Jacobs, actually, but via Centre Devil says that Aston Villa would realistically want 25 to 30 million for Emiliano Martinez, despite their initial valuation being closer to 40 million pounds. Depending on PSR compliance, prices could drop. Other Villa sales will dictate that as well. So Martinez, Gyokeres, Mbeumo, Cunha, that's all we really need. Yes, we could do with some other players. I wouldn't say no to another central midfielder. I wouldn't, just in case Ugarte turns out to be a bit gash, I wouldn't say no to another wing back. Certainly wouldn't. That would be a great addition as well. But beyond that, I don't really see too many problems. If we've got a proper banging number 9, if we've got, you know, we've still got great youth players to come through and back up and develop as well. The likes of Aiden Heaven, the likes of Chido Obi, Collier, Menu, these guys. So they're all going to still be there as well. And they're sort of vital to progressing the football club as well, long term. So yeah, like there's a lot of positives if we can get those deals done. Martinez is a little bit less likely, I suppose, because, well, you know, we might go for somebody else. He's a little bit eccentric, a little bit erratic, but he's much better than Andre Onana, isn't he? That's the real key thing. That's the key takeaway. So I would have him for that amount of money. I think that's not terrible at all, is it, to get him for that sort of cash? Have a good few seasons out of him, hopefully playing well, hopefully doing good for us. Better than Andre. Give us a solid base, command in the back line, claiming those crosses, being a general shithouse. You know, he is a bit of a shithouse. Just doing that for us, and we should be in a much better position, I think, this season to actually have a solid base to challenge. So Martinez to Manchester United is still on the cards. I'll ask the chat if you could just sign one goalkeeper this summer. Obviously, we're only going to sign one goalkeeper, but if you could sign a goalkeeper this summer, realistically speaking, no Donnarummas or anything like that, but realistically speaking, who would you sign? Get your thoughts and opinions in there. Have your say. But yeah, I mean, Martinez is a great option. He's got that proven Premier League experience, big physical presence, big vocal presence. Could definitely do a lot worse, i.e. sticking with Andre. So Emiliano Martinez would be definitely wanted by me for, 25, 30 million pounds, if that's what the going rate is for him at the moment, and that's what Villa want for him to sell him. I reckon it's a good deal, to be fair, guys. I reckon it's a good deal, and we should absolutely get that one done. De Gea, De Gea's obviously signed that new deal over there at Fiorentina, hasn't he? We're actually going to be seeing De Gea very soon in that pre-season friendly. We've got a pre-season friendly against Fiorentina, and it's going to be the return of the Mac, De Gea. I know. We've got a bunch of other news, by the way, but just for now, we've got 200 legends in here and 95 likes on the stream. Thank you, everyone, for hitting the likes. Let's get 100 likes. Let's get that ratio up, my friends. Give us a thumbs up on the video if you're just joining the stream. That helps us out. Share it around and get your thoughts and opinions in, as always. Yes, exactly. 2-time goalkeeper of the year. Hell yeah to Martinez. Absolutely, yes. Pivotal in the Argies World Cup win. Pivotal into, obviously, got the Golden Glove and all that sort of stuff. Martinez or my nan. Me personally, I like Martinez because he has that Premier League experience. Look, Mike, my nan, looks great, but I can't keep a straight face if he was to play for us in the Premier League, mate. My nan in goal. You what? What's that? Wayne Rooney sat behind the goal? No. De Gea is going to Fiorentina. Exactly. It's already at Fiorentina, isn't he, lad? So, Pig, how many goals does Gyokeres score with Mbeumo and Cunha behind? Be realistic. Mate, thank you so much, Thornster, for your question. Honestly, my honest feeling is he scores a lot of goals, mate. So I think he got like 60-odd this season or something crazy in all competitions over there for Sporting. He's not going to do that for Man United, no way. It's the Premier League. It's way more difficult. We are going to have less games to focus on if he was to come over, which means that, he can be conditioned much better as well, I think, because you don't have to play midweek games. You should be raring to go for all the cup games and all the Prem games. If we're just talking about Premier League, let's isolate the Premier League here for a second. If we're just talking about the Premier League, I think he can score in his first season for Manchester United. This is a great question, but I'm going to say there's no reason why he couldn't get 23 goals. 23 goals. That's right. And it's been a long time since we've had a player score 23 goals for us in the league. Especially when they're not taking penalties and stuff. So I do think, yes, it's ambitious, but why not? Okay, you have to remember that Cunha and also Mbeumo are going to be taking a lot of the goals as well, scoring a lot of the goals as well, but they're also creating a lot of goals, those guys too. So, Chouameni! Chew it! Excuse me. We're okay. I think we're okay. But yeah, 23 is my number there, if I had to say, in the first season. You have to remember, United's not going to be a perfectly well-oiled machine. I think if we start well and we progress well, there's no reason why by the end of the season we can't really be a well-oiled machine. But it is going to take a bit of time for Amorim to work wonders there, especially with new players coming in, shite players leaving, and having to do a little bit of a transitional change at United. So it will take a little bit of time, but I think we can, if we have a great start to the season, we can certainly turn into a great team with those players in our team. Gyokeres is a goal merchant. You've also got Mbeumo and Cunha. They're also goal merchants as well, really, from their positions. UK Strange reckons he'll get 15. Berber says 25. Loving that. 22. Absolutely 22 goals, 10 assists. Love that, Stephen. That'd be immense. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Aaron. African Viking says, how many goals will Højlund get with Cunha and Mbeumo behind him? Still 3. Still 3, mate. You know why? Because his movement's guff, his bottle's gone, his composure's shite, he's got a touch of a fucking Lukaku with one leg, and he's just absolutely awful. So I still think he wouldn't get that many. Plus, who wants to pass to that guy? Hey, let's be real. Højlund's outgoing. Let's get onto this little bit of information, actually, guys, in regards to player outgoings, and then we'll get into the chat and stuff and do a little rundown. Good afternoon there. No worries there, Daz Salford. Have a great day out in Manchester, lad. Nice one. Appreciate you, my son. 35, you reckon? Wow, 24, 6, 20, 28. Anyway, no, I don't think Højlund would get very many, mate, to answer your question. But Højlund is obviously wanted by Inter Milan. That deal is being worked on. Behind the scenes, obviously, Inter expected to put an official bid in at some point soon. There's reports, obviously, they're working on sort of verbal discussions and that kind of thing. But it does, in my opinion, look like he will be leaving to go to Inter. Maybe it won't be Inter, maybe he'll go to a different team, but we're certainly looking to move Rasmus Højlund on. Unfortunately, we've got no faith in Rasmus Højlund anymore. He's not reliable, he's not a clinical goal scorer, and unfortunately we tried with him, but he's got to go. So he will be going, hopefully, and generate a bit of cash. I think we can get 40 million, 35 million maybe for him. He's still a young player with good potential. Same goes for this man. There's another player who is wanted by a couple of clubs at least, and that is Anthony Dos Gastos. Fair play to Anthony. He went away to us to Seville, played for Betis, did bits there for the remainder of the season, playing in a much less pressure environment for, in a less pressure league in general, but still looked very, very good and improved his position in terms of being wanted, I think, by teams, because he still showed potential, and in the right team, he can do really good things. He certainly scored a lot of really good goals while he was out there. He was shite for us, but for Betis, he was actually very impressive, wasn't he? Fair play to him. But here's a report here that says that Anthony's agents are travelling to Seville this week to speak to and try and secure another deal with Real Betis. There will also be a meeting between Real Betis and Manchester United with the same objective. All parties want to make a progress on a deal. Yeah, I bet. Obviously, we've loaned him out. We're happy for him to go. Amorim doesn't really want him. He doesn't really fit into Amorim's system. That's the problem. And now if you're signing the 10s that we have, he definitely doesn't fit into the system. Plus, it means that Ahmad might be utilised maybe sometimes as a right wing-back, arguably, which also means that there's no places to all really for Anthony anymore. He can't do that job properly. So Anthony's going. Surely Anthony's going. I doubt it will be another loan move. I think it's realistic he is sold for 30 million, 35 million. Let's ask the chat, how much do you think we'll get cash back wise for Anthony? Bear in mind we paid 85 million or whatever it was for this I was going to say guy, but clown, because he was shy for us, wasn't he? Unbelievable, this fidget spinner. Get your thoughts in. How much do you think we'll recoup for Anthony? Honestly, my thoughts are we'd be likely to get 30 to 35 million. There's not going to be too many teams interested in him. But if there's 2 teams interested in him, then it could push the price up just that little bit to a 40 or a 45, I suppose. And let's face it, we know Leverkusen are going to have money as well. We know that Erik ten Hag considers Anthony his golden child. And so there's every chance that he might well buy him for the 3rd time and bring him over there to Germany. I wouldn't put it past him to bring in his Ajax friend Anthony Dos Gastos over there. So that's a possibility, but the most likely thing, I think, maybe he does return to Betis just because he likes out there. He said he was happy over there. He's doing well over there, enjoying his football over there, playing with a smile on his face. So I think that's quite likely, in all fairness, that he ends up there. But maybe he will go to Leverkusen. You never know. He could link up with his old pal, old Dutch conehead Erik ten Hag Kojak himself. 30 to 35 million. Yep. 30 million top, 25 million, 35 million, 45 million. Nice one, Stephen. It would be nice if we could squeeze a little bit more out of a deal like that. End of the day, he's a Brazilian international, and he's young. He's what, 23, 24? How old is Anthony now? Maybe he's like 40 in terms of like football years, because he's gone through the mixer in the last couple of years. But no, he's not. He's young, and he's in the Brazil setup. He's got himself back into the Brazil setup now with Big Carlo. So you've got to say he's still got a lot of admirers. He's still got a lot of marketability. He's still got a lot of value. So I think, yeah, it wouldn't be crazy to get 40 million for him. It wouldn't be crazy. Maybe there might be some in add-ons, but it's not crazy to get an overall 40 million back for him. That wouldn't prove to be bad business, would it, based on how gashy he is for us? Yes, that's it there, Mateus Cunha. I know, reports are obviously that we don't have, Champions League football, but he's not worried about coming. This is basically from him here. If Manchester United find a way to pay 70 million euros for Viktor Gyokeres, he would be keen to reunite with Ruben Amorim, even without Champions League football. Outgoings will play a big part in such funds, though. So, yes, we've discussed that earlier on. Just as you've mentioned it there, for anybody getting in here, yeah, great. That's awesome. But if a big team comes in with Champions League football, they might turn his head. But it does look like the path is reasonably clear for us. He might want to stay at Sporting another year, who knows? But it looks like the path is reasonably clear for us to go and get Gyokeres at this moment if we act quickly. But can we act quickly when we've got to sell players in order to get these deals done? Because we kind of do. We do have to sell all those players we've mentioned. There's a good 6 or 7 to get rid of. We'll just go through the list very, very quickly again. So it can generate a couple of $100 million if you actually get them sold. Sancho to Saudi in an ideal situation, probably be a cash loan deal though. Anthony to Batista or Leverkusen for 40 mil or something. Andre Onana, I don't know, Syria, 20 mil. Rasmus Højlund, Inter, 35. You've got who else? I mean, that'll do. That'll do. That's a significant amount of cash. Rashford, did I say him? Either way, he's 40 million quid. So that's a bit of cash to get back to be able to buy these players like Gyokeres. It's a lot of money, but it's 70 million euros, isn't it? Which is what, like 60 million pounds? So it's a significant amount of cash, but it's not crazy considering the player that you're getting. Interesting. Rasmus will go to Napoli and score with Conte. Interesting. Don't really see that being the case, but interesting. Just can't pass most times. That's the only problem. Yep, 25 years old. Anthony, 25 now. Is Anthony 25 now? Wow. Goodness me. Yeah, but he's still young. That's still young. He's coming into his prime years. Man United and AC Milan, 2 giants retro guessing every season. Oh, regressing, yeah. Bit harsh, mate. Neil says does well at Betis, though. Definitely, that's why they'll want him. So reports are that he's travelling over there. They'll want him, and that makes a lot of sense. Neil says Mount told to leave according to the Mirror. Oh, I love that. Mate. I was just looking for a mirror. I don't actually have a mirror. And by a mirror, I mean an actual reflective mirror, not the newspaper, the Mirror. Because I'd be getting more out of the frickin' reflective mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Give me a transfer news, please, all. You know, might as well do that, lad, because the Mirror's a bag of shite. But fair enough, Neil. I appreciate that. Nice one. I hope you're right, bud. I hope the Mirror's right, by the way. I'd love to see Mason Mount gone as well. Maybe that's going to happen, mate. You look at the number 10s we've brought in, or we're bringing in, we're about to buy in, then you can see that there's not going to be too many opportunities for Mason Mount. He's going to be definitely playing a bit part of United. I suppose there'll still be some opportunities maybe for him at CM, and of course at the cam role there, the number 10 role, but there's going to be lots of players ahead of him. I would love it if we sold Mount, mate. Is Tyrone Malacia still a United player? He was out on loan, wasn't he? So yes, that's a good point. I forgot about that. He should be getting sold, but he'll just be a few million quid, I'd imagine. We only paid 12 for him. So Bishnu, get in there, my son. 60 million plus add-ons, get in Mbeumo, get it done. Can't believe my club's finally acting serious. I know, Shrestha. And we could be moving on to Gyokeres next, mate. Would be amazing. By the way, I'm just going to shout out everyone that's given us a repost on X here. I'm going to get into the live chat for a Q&A for a few minutes now. You can repost us there, guys. Let me shout out a few legends that have done it here. Yes, we've had 4 reposts. Thank you so much to Aaron Homeyard, you Don, Johnny, Chris Bamo, and the GOAT, Richard Wisterpeck. Big love to you, my son. Thank you so much. Right, I'm getting into the live chat, guys. Once again, do us a favour, hit that like button and smash the subscribe button and have your say. Oh, shit, sorry. I forgot about this. Victor Osimhen's in talks with Al Hilal after receiving a formal proposal. Al Hilal prepared to pay 75 million euros clause, but want an answer before the June 10 window shuts. Osimhen's now the top target for them ahead of the tournament. Right, okay, nice. So that's basically doesn't really affect us much because it looks like Gyokeres is our main target. But yep, we're working on Mbeumo currently. Shouldn't be too long before the deal is agreed. The reports that he wants 230k. I think it'll be significantly less than that, actually, as it ends. Gyokeres is reportedly okay with joining Manchester United, even though we don't have Champions League football, if we can find the 70 million euros to make the deal done, basically get the deal done. Also, Martinez for around about 25 to 30 million pounds could be available also from Villa. Betis, potentially interested still in Anthony. Agent talks this week. That's the headlines this lunchtime. Let's get stuck into the live chat, guys. Thank you for joining. Malacia won the league with PSV, so might be some suitors. Yeah, hopefully he goes over there, mate. Good call, good call. He only played like 8 games for them, though. To be fair, he did win the league with them technically, but he only played 8 times, I think. So I don't think he had a huge role in that PSV team. But maybe I could be wrong. Bostonian Mackham says, I've heard Sunderland are looking at Ahmad and maybe Mount. Has anyone been sold yet? No, unfortunately not, mate, other than, obviously we've got a few players who are going out. Lindelof, Eriksson, Evans, but other than that, no, basically, is the answer to your question. Let me just have a look at any updates here real quick, see what's going on. Let's just check Ornstein, Fab, and a couple of others very quickly, see if there's any new updates, and doesn't really look like anything significant here. So yeah, let's get back into the chat. Exactly, Neil. Don't be a scouser. Drop a like. If we sign Gyokeres and Mbeumo, that would shut the haters even by finishing 15th. It really would. It shows you the Goliath size of Manchester United and just what a legendary, historic football club we are, that we're still able to actually bring in players. Okay, the money helps. The money helps, but they could get money anywhere. Bruno could have got 700,000 a week over in Saudi. They can get money anywhere. It's obviously they're coming here for the prestige of competition and also the project, what United could be. They know what United has the potential to be still. We need a miracle to get there, but we still have that potential. Manny Slouflaki, how you doing? He says Gyokeres isn't happening, mate. Well, I think I said yesterday, I feel about 20% about it. I still think it's more likely he'll end up going to a different team who can provide him Champions League football or even just staying where he's at. So I think we've got a chance, though, but 20% is my gut feeling on it. I don't feel overly confident about it, but, still, little tids and bids and bods coming out. No, little tidbits and bits and bobs coming out there in the media last couple of days, just maybe hinting at the fact that he would be open to a move to Manchester United still. So if we can pay the money, if we can sell players and get the money in, why not? Okay, it's a bit annoying having to pay players maybe a little bit more than the going rate to get them to come. But if we can get quality players like Gyokeres to score loads of goals for us, why not? I could see it happening, Manny. You have to remember, Man United is a beast football club. We are the sorts of people that sign, crazy signings, even though we maybe shouldn't. Remember when we got Zlatan? I guess that was kind of like the Jose effect, But we didn't even have Champions League football, did we then? We still had European football, though, didn't we? Yeah. Did we? Yes. Yeah, we won the we won the Europa League with Zlatan in the squad. He was injured for the final, though, wasn't he? Yeah. Anyway, Villa asking for 25-30 million for Martinez. Ben Jacobs. Yes, mate. Absolutely. Yes, we've already discussed that, mate. Did you miss it? There it is on my screen there from earlier on. But yes, you're absolutely right, Berbalad. Thank you very much. That's it. Very much a reasonable amount. I think we've got to get him in there, don't we? Smash a one if you'd like to see that happen. Oh, let's go. Manny Slouflaki, happy birthday to you, my son. Everybody get some big love in there for Manny, one of the absolute OG legends of the channel. Big love to you, Manny Slouflaki. Have a great birthday from everybody here at Flying Pig United, lad. Thank you so much, Manny, for joining us on your birthday, you hero. How old are you, mate? If you're part of the team that brings back success, your name will be in every United fan's mind for years to come. So true, yes. You're so right about that. Remember, Cantona? Think about how much of a legend Cantona was. He's only here for 5 years, but he's one of the biggest legends in the football club because he was a very important part of getting Manchester United back to being those winning teams. Yes, happy birthday, Manny, you legend. Happy birthday, lad. Happy birthday. You're 69, are you, Manny? Oh, fair play, lad. If United can offer 55 from Mbeumo, I think should go for Gyokeres instead. Get it done quickly. I think we're going to get both, Mateus. Honestly, I think we're being seriously ambitious. I know we haven't necessarily got the funds right now, but we will sell players, mate. It's not like we haven't got funds available. We just need to be able to justify, PSR, financial rules and guff like that, and not lose X amount of money per financial year. So we have to satisfy those demands. But as long as we're getting rid of players and bringing revenue into the football club as well, which we will do this summer transfer window, then we're going to have money. We're going to have money to spend. Thank you there, Lemmington. Listening to you simply talking about football brings a sense of normalcy in these crazy times. Mate, Lemmington, big love to you, my friend. Thank you so much, Lemmington, for saying so, mate. Nice one, Scott. Arsenal fan getting in here from New Zealand. What's going on, mate? Thanks for joining, lad. Hopefully you guys aren't interested in Gyokeres. Going for Sesko, aren't you? So, Red Panty Night, 31. Oh, Manny, you young bastard, lad. That's awesome. Enjoy your night out, lad. Enjoy your Red Panty Night, mate. Happy birthday, Manny. Yes, indeed. Yes, happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Big Hass, for yesterday as well, mate. Amorim wants a new goalkeeper. Give me Sport reporting last week that Madrid star Andre Lunin is among the potential replacements. Fair enough. I still think, proven Premier League experience is a bit better right now, but I would make an exception for somebody like a Donnarumma. Madrid President Florentino Perez has reportedly told London's Entourage that he will sell the goalkeeper for 35 minutes. Interesting link. Well, thank you for that. I do the transfer news around here, by the way, there, Bottom Bliss. Right, I'm going to read a couple more comments out, guys, and then we're going to wrap up this little lunchtime live, just a cheeky little lunchtime live, to discuss the latest in regards to Mbeumo, Gyokeres, and that kind of stuff. We will be back on tonight as well. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel with the bell icon smashed, so you get notifications, and all that jazz as well. So, yes, mate. Sam McConnor says, does heaven creep into our starting back three next season? No, he doesn't. But he does actually fit in, in the squad in a lot of games, and he will play in cup games, and he'll still get opportunities late on in games. But if you're talking about the strongest back three next season for us, out of who's available, I think you've still got to say that De Ligt fit would be in there, absolutely. Euro looks absolutely incredible. Euro's definitely ahead of heaven in terms of the young centre-backs there. Euro looks pretty incredible at the moment. Also, Slabby Maguire's still a rock, still a slabbo. Martinez, the butcher, if he's back fit and available, surely he's in with a shout of starting as well. I mean, he has looked really good for us a lot of times, Martinez. Just unfortunately a little bit injury prone and melty. Yeah, what you having for lunch? I don't know, actually, lazy cat, mate. I'm going to get stuck into something soon. I'm back on the diet now, guys, because I put on an obscene amount of weight over the last 2 years. So I'm back on the diet now, and I'm trying not to be so much of a fat bastard, which is very difficult, and I'm very much struggling. I remember a year or two ago when I was bang on the calorie tracking and everything. It's like it became easy. I was disciplined. It was easy. I cut out the sugar. It was easy. I wasn't having the cravings after a while. But now it's like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about just going into the kitchen and just gorging and binging on a whole bunch of absolutely amazing food. But I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm trying to stay strict here. Anyway, right, listen, guys. I've got to wrap this up, right? Yeah, fasting, good shout. I've got to wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this little afternoon lunchtime live. Do us a favour before you go. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Come back after, have your say in the not live comments and keep the debate going about anything we discussed in this video. Gyokeres, whoever. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. All the links are in the description. I like your style, Shreshvar, lad. Another centre-back would make sense just because we've got a lot of injury-prone melters in the centre-back positions. Martinez is injury-prone, De Ligt is injury-prone, Euro's injury-prone, Lindelof's gone. So it's not a bad idea, mate, getting another centre-back in. I like your style, lad. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thank you very much for joining. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe, comment after, and I'll see you in a bit. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines would be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get